like to talk about the project that I'm doing, and I've been thinking about this for a long time. I came back to Canada in 2010, and it was really clear to me that although this is a great university, UBC is fantastic, there are just some conversations that are missing. I think it affects the students, what people can learn. And I think if we value equity and diversity, if we value intercultural understanding, if we value all those things in the strategic plan, like research excellence and student learning, I think we could expand what happens in terms of curriculum, in terms of research, in terms of research partnerships. And so that's what I'm trying to do in my little small way. So when I wrote this equity enhancement grant, and luckily and thankfully I received it. And so it allows me to bring certain Black scholars and public intellectuals to the university. I've been here for 5 years, and it seems that rarely are Black scholars invited to UBC. And often when they are from the US, and that's great too, but there's a whole wealth of exciting research that's going on here that I think some people just aren't aware of. So that's my vision for now. We're going to start with Dionne Brand, someone that many people will recognize her name, and also she's really changed Canadian literature. So Dionne Brand is coming in on the 12th, and David Sheridan, a cultural critic, a novelist, English professor at SFU, they will be engaged in a dialogue. And we're also going to bring in January, Ronaldo Walcott, that many people may recognize. He was on CBC just last week. He's a public intellectual, cultural critic, also writes a lot on masculinities, queer theory, cultural studies, Canadian literature, and Catherine McKittrick, some of the same. Also, in March, we're going to bring in Melinda Smith at University of Alberta, a political scientist, and she's won a lot of awards for her work on anti-racism, equity, diversity. And David Austin from Montreal, who just about a year ago wrote an amazing book called Fear of a Black Planet. And he chronicles some of the civil rights activities in Montreal, the Black Panthers in Montreal, the anti-racist struggles there. And a lot of people think that these kinds of things didn't happen in Canada, but they did. So that's what's happening now, and my vision really has been something that I've been thinking about for several years at UBC. And also, the other thing I'd like to say about that is, as a curriculum theorist, I think about curriculum all the time. What is most worthwhile? What is worthwhile to know? And what does it mean for our students? To talk a little bit about what I see in terms of a vision coming out of this project, some kind of, if you like, the sustainability of the project. It's not, for me, it's not a one-time event. So I'm hoping to stir a lot of excitement about some of the great research that's coming out in Canada in terms of writ large Black studies. I'm also hoping, and I can see it starting already, a really lovely relationship between SFU and UBC. It's really interesting to be in a city where you have two great universities and we don't really interact as much as we could. So there are professors at SFU that are really excited about this event and future summer institutes and things like that. So that's something that I would really love to put on. And the other thing I really want to do is transform curriculum. And it sounds like a lot, but I think that stories are usually told from the point of view of the dominant group. And so it's no secret that certain groups, their stories are not told from their own perspectives. We just saw this in the debate about the niqab. How many women who wear the niqab were in the debate? It was other people talking about whether it's right or wrong, and so on and so forth. So in many ways, I think the issue of, when I talk about sustainability of the project, it's moving forward with other like-minded professors at U of UBC and also SFU to work together, collaborate on projects, the possibility of summer institutes to work around certain themes together. I also think this is one way of furthering some of our goals as a university. I mean, the university is a place where diverse perspectives are honored, where students can learn about other people, other cultures, interact with each other, discuss and debate ideas, and be introduced to new knowledge.